stadium. Like, that's crazy.
If Tyson dies, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah. See, if you have something like that, if you have, look, if
That'd
this,
be the end of the.
right.
Yeah, that'd be the end of that
Let's-
experiment.
Let's imagine it in a different way, right? Let's not imagine that Mike Tyson is fighting Jake Paul. Let's imagine Mike Tyson is fighting some young, like really powerful knockout artist who's a contender.
How do you call it a professional fight if the rules you're using are not professional rules? I just
Maybe they're in the non-binary category, given that it's 8 2-minute rounds. I'm sure the women will be happy to see someone stepping down to the shorter rounds.
yeah.
Boxing pros have broken down the upcoming Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight at Lennox. Lewis expressed his anticipation at witnessing his old adversaries come back to the ring, despite the plethora of cautions regarding Tyson's return to the sweet science. Lewis remains intrigued by the prospect. Lewis and a lot of other people, though, believe Tyson will be the one raising his arm at the conclusion of the fight. In an earlier interview with The Guardian, the British national stated that Paul is the sole reason for concern when it comes to risk. Lewis said he's concerned for Jake. Paul Tyson still knows how to punch, as you can see when he's hitting a bag. Lewis mentioned that if Jake Paul gets hit by one of Tyson's punches, he will definitely feel it. He noted that Paul likely doesn't want to get hit, emphasizing that Tyson moves forward and knows how to cut off the ring, questioning the strength of Paul's defense. I saw Mike a couple of weeks ago and he looked good. He was walking around without a shirt and showing off his body, so he's getting ready. I'm looking forward to it because you've got to look at these guys as entertainers. The public loves them and wants to see them in action. British boxing icon Carl Frocht, a former unified super middleweight champion, has thrown his support behind Tyson as well. FR, renowned for his vocal challenges to Paul, remains skeptical about the former YouTuber's prowess inside the ropes. Frocht told Lord Ping, "I'm not worried about Mike Tyson. Jake Paul cannot fight. None of his knockouts are legitimate. His knockouts were against opponents who didn't know what they were doing. The way he sets up his punches, he cannot fight Mike, is going to be absolutely fine." Adding to the discourse, esteemed pugilist and 5-division champion Sugar Ray Leonard has weighed in on the forthcoming bout, finding himself in the spotlight as a fight hype reporter delved into his insights on the upcoming colossal bout. With the grace of a former undisputed welterweight champion, he succinctly encapsulated his views on the impending clash in mere 2 lines. The reporter prodded Leonard about Tyson's fight, emphasizing the age difference. While they were having a conversation on local issues, the 68-year-old boxer first said, "Put it this way, a lot of people are going to watch that fight," adding, "I'm one of them in the realm of boxing lore." Amidst the chatter and anticipation, a universal truth persists. The masses inevitably gravitate towards the spectacle of live combat, a sentiment echoed by one revered figure among them. Yet when pressed for wisdom to impart upon the fabled baddest man on the planet, Leonard stood poised with a response primed for the moment he doesn't need advice. Vice Wright remarked that the renowned fighter Sugar Ray is not incorrect in this instance. During his 2-decade career, the baddest man on the planet has faced numerous dangerous opponents. Even the youngest heavyweight champion, Roy Jones Jr., acknowledged that he was as aggressive as ever when he made his comeback in 2020. Ever since Paul hinted at the heightened gravity of the situation, emphasizing how the outcome of their clash would reverberate through their respective legacies, the tension was palpable during their May 16th press conference, with a stark departure from the initial calmness signaling a shift towards animosity. The combat sports community is divided about who will win the Paul versus Tyson fight. While Paul is far less experienced than Tyson, he is still in his prime age. Tyson is undoubtedly one of the best fighters of all time, but he is decades away from his peak performance. As the much-anticipated event draws near, TMZ caught up with Paul to get his thoughts. They inquired whether he had any reservations about facing an opponent who was just a few years shy of being considered a senior citizen. Paul said absolutely not to explain that if Tyson gets a shot to knock him out, he'll do the exact same in an embarrassing fashion, so I have to reciprocate that same energy. But Mike Tyson is a killer. He's ruthless. He's the most vicious champion ever, so I have to channel that Mike Tyson energy to finish him and the legend. Must fall regarding the fight scale. Paul stated that he believes AT&T Stadium would be packed to capacity and that Netflix might draw hundreds of millions of viewers. The former unchallenged world champion in the cruiserweight and heavyweight classes, Evander Holyfield, recently offered his thoughts on the match. Holyfield opened the discussion by delving into the stylistic dimensions of the potential match, taking into account Tyson's seasoned experience juxtaposed with Paul's youthful vigor in this hypothetical scenario. Tyson, at 58, contrasts with Paul, a burgeoning sensation in both YouTube and boxing circles, at 27. Holyfield underscored the pivotal role competence plays in boxing and pondered how the interplay of tactics and mindset could alter the dynamics of the bout.
It's with the confidence the other guy. I don't know how much confidence that Jake Paul have in all this, but you know he's gonna be a lot quicker. And if he stay close to Mike, then his chance of winning gonna be great. But he tried to stay back from Mike.
He emphasized the importance of maintaining the right distance while facing Tyson, citing Tyson's impressive speed and knack for exploiting opponents who keep their distance. Holyfield pointed out that if Paul stuck close to Tyson, his odds of victory would rise since Tyson heavily relies on generating power from his lower body. Nevertheless, lingering too far away would leave Paul vulnerable to Tyson's devastating counterattacks. Holyfield declined to offer a firm forecast, highlighting that the result hinges on Paul's performance. He cast doubt on Paul's capacity to withstand a blow from someone as potent as Tyson, whose strength remains imposing despite his age. Holyfield underscored the unpredictable nature of boxing and the significance of having faith in one's capability to emerge victorious, drawing upon his own journey as a fighter.
But if you charge him, you're gonna smother everything, because everything he push off his legs. He push off his legs so he too close. Like this, but if you give him room, I mean, everybody get knocked out going backwards. Like this, you give him in the room, you're gonna be messed up.
Do you see Mike winning or do you see Jake winning?
I don't know. It's all depending on how Jake fight. You know, I tell you what, if it's cause somebody gonna tell him it's too crazy to be trying to get close to the guy. He gonna stay like that. Mike like he get in and he curve up like this and snap.
Holyfield offered a nuanced take on the potential ramifications of Tyson's loss in the realm of boxing while paying homage to Tyson's iconic status and his substantial influence on the sport. Holyfield stressed that defeat shouldn't eclipse Tyson's remarkable legacy. He emphasized the enduring power and resilience of Tyson's punches, underscoring the critical role of strategy and conditioning in overcoming formidable adversaries. Teddy Atlas, formerly a coach for Tyson during a brief tenure under Custy Amato, remains skeptical despite the Texas Boxing Commission's endorsement. The substantial age disparity between Tyson and Paul raises concerns for him. Furthermore, the unorthodox regulations being enforced cast doubt on the bout's credibility. From Atlas' perspective, the professional boxing community is questioning these rule changes, as evidenced by the recent YouTube commentary of noted analyst Teddy Atlas, who questioned the legality of the match.
Category, given that it's 8 2-minute rounds, I'm sure the women will be happy to see someone stepping down to the shorter rounds.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Ken. All I know is I'm really not trying to be, to pick at anything. I'm just putting the news out there, and I'm breaking it down as is our way of doing things on this show. You're calling it a professional fight. We didn't know if it was going to be professional or not. They decided to sanction it as a professional fight in Texas, but it's not the professional rules of a professional fight. It's not 3-minute rounds. It's 2-minute rounds. It's not 10-ounce gloves. It's 14-ounce gloves. Yet it's being called professional rules. Look, they can do whatever they want in boxing, right? I mean, as long as money's there, the commission's going to make money, they're going to bring money.
While Teddy Atlas expresses some doubts, it's evident that the upcoming match between Tyson and Paul is destined to make its mark on combat sports history. The clash between these two figures is bound to shape the trajectory of their careers. However, Atlas raises a valid point regarding the professional nature of the fight, questioning its legitimacy due to the unconventional rules being employed. Many share his apprehension, fearing that this event is more about profit than sport, and Tyson's involvement, given his age and lack of recent ring experience, could pose significant risks of injury. Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.